Anyone can become a 4.0 or even a 4.5 tennis player. But this video isn't just for beginners trying to achieve their full potential. It's also for those players who maybe have been stuck at the 3.5 level longer than they would like, and they'd like to know why. We'll cover the timeline involved with becoming a 4.0 or 4.5 tennis player, the tactics and strategies you have to be able to implement, and the core technical elements you need in order to keep improving in tennis. There's actually not as many elements as you would think, so let's get into it. First, let's talk about the variable that we have the least amount of control over. How long does it take? Well, unfortunately, this is largely determined by your background in athletics. Things that come natural to lifetime athletes are anticipation, your ability to create force using body segments, and myelin. Myelin is a sticky substance that builds up over time in the brain and allows synapses to travel faster. You can't teach myelin. But don't worry if you haven't been playing sports your whole life. It just means once you get the other things in place that we're going to talk about, it's really important to get out there and challenge yourself against better players as much as you can. This forces these things that can't completely consciously be learned on a tennis court to happen faster. In the end, if you're a complete beginner, you can expect anywhere from 3 to 6 or even 7 years to become a 4.0 or 4.5 player if you do the instructions in this video. But that's the beauty of tennis. It's a lifetime learning sport. Okay, there's really only 3 technical things you need to be able to do to become a 4.0 or 4.5 tennis player. That's right, just 3. The first one is you have to be able to hit effective topspin off both sides. Notice I said effective. You have to understand that topspin isn't created by coming under and over the ball, and effective topspin isn't created by a last-minute wrist snap up the back of the ball. It's really much simpler than that. All you have to do is come from below the ball with a hooded tennis racket and get comfortable with the ball moving on your strings. Should feel a little weird if you've never done it before, but if you get your racket low and closed and you just lift your shoulder, you're going to be hitting good topspin off both sides. You could probably find some 4.0 or 4.5 players that don't move their feet well, don't turn their body, don't have a unit turn, and just go straight to the doggy pat position. But you won't find many 4.5 tennis players that move their feet, have a unit turn, and then don't let the racket drop low and closed below impact. Yeah, I know there's lots of 4.0 and 4.5 tennis players who only play slice on the backhand side. But remember, we're trying to get you there as fast as possible. And now we know topspin is just plain easier to hit than slice. You can make your acceptance window bigger, higher over the net, and still hit pace on the ball. To become a 4.0 or a 4.5 tennis player, you have to understand pronation and how to use it to impart forward rotation over your head on the tennis serve. By utilizing spin on your serve, you can still hit hard and be safe and not have to worry about players pushing you around after your tennis serve. It should definitely be a shot that at least starts you off even from the get-go. If all you did was this on your tennis serve, you'd be way ahead of about 95% of tennis players playing the game who've been stuck at the 3.5 level. Master making contact as the racket's still progressing up. So you're on the inside of the hand slightly as the racket's still going up, and that's how you hit spin. And then eventually you can add a throwing motion, but nothing comes before learning that principle of pronation and learning to hit spin on your tennis serve. Yes, learning to hit topspin on your ground strokes and pronate and hit spin on your serve does take longer to learn. The learning curve is greater. But the whole idea is you can't become a 4.0 or 4.5 without it. So take the time from the beginning, learn the right way so you can continue to grow in the sport. The last thing you need to learn isn't so much about learning the right way. The volley can be a very natural shot to learn. It's actually not learning it the wrong way. The volley is widely taught as a tricep-dominated slicing down motion, and I just can't get on board with that. Yes, you will evolve into learning how to take pace off a ball by putting backspin on it. But the volley is fundamentally a flat shoulder-dominated stroke. All you have to do is turn to your strings point forward and take your strings like a wall to the ball. If you're someone who's been struggling with your volley for too long, you might want to think about how you learned it and go out and experiment with some new techniques. So what about strategically? What do you got to be able to do to be a 4.0 or a 4.5 tennis player? Well, there's a connection between the technique and the tactics. If you know how to create topspin effectively, you'll be able to consistently hit a ball with pace. And that's pretty much all you need. Yeah, you want to be a 4.0, 4.5 player? Be a pusher. But you have to be a pusher that can create a little bit of pace. This is why a lot of players get stuck at the 3.5 level. They don't really have topspin and they just kind of have a poke or a hack shot which kind of floats back. They're consistent and they do well, but when they do play players at the 4.0, 4.5 level, those players are able to put that ball away with enough pace and really control points on them. If you can get enough pace on your ground strokes, you're really just locked into a rally. And when it comes down to that, if you can outlast the person, be more patient, you're going to win lots of points. Once you're in these rallies, you're waiting for one of two things to happen. Either one, they're going to miss before you, or two, you're going to get a short ball. And this is really the last thing we need to talk about to get to the level that you want to be. Now, just like there's a connection between the technique on the forehand and the baseline strategy, there's a connection between the midcourt and the net. If you're someone who's comfortable up at the net and you're comfortable with your volley, you're going to play the midcourt more disciplined. Typically, people who aren't comfortable at the net, they play inopportune drop shots, or they go for winners on balls that really shouldn't be winners. The trick is to just play midcourt balls deep with a little bit of pace and come to the net. Yeah, when you first go to the net, you're going to struggle. As Vic Braden said, when you first go to the net, you're going to lose at a faster pace. But the good news is 80% of the time you go to the net, you don't have to hit a volley because your opponent freaks out because you're up there. But as you get better at playing the midcourt discipline and then finishing balls at the net, you really have everything you need to be a complete tennis player and grow well into the 4.0 and 4.5 range. So to review, remember, it might take you a little longer if you don't have that athletic background. But remember, it's not about talent. It's just about getting the reps in and putting the time in. Learn to hit effective topspin off your forehand and backhand so you can be consistent in the rally. Learn to pronate using a continental grip and hit spin on your tennis serve so you can get enough pace on that not to get pushed around. And watch out for ineffective information on the volley. If you haven't been able to volley in a long time, don't be afraid to try something different. Really appreciate you guys tuning in and watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.